What up, everybody? I'm Big Waz,
And I'm Nando Vila.
and we are the Woke Bros. Each week, we bring you guys lefty news from a lefty perspective, man. What does that mean? That means news from the perspective of working people like you and I.
Yeah, do you think the Republicans suck? And do you think that the Democrats also suck? Well, you're going to like our show because we think they both suck.
Absolutely. So if you want the news, all Skrilla, no filler, each and every Thursday, please subscribe, rate, review wherever you get podcasts, because the Woke Bros has their own individual podcast feed. Make sure you look up the Woke Bros, subscribe to us, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars, and say that we're the greatest of all time. See you guys soon.
Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Black Opinions Matter, motherfucker. My name is Amin. I'm joined as always by Blk Tray, Big Jerv. My man Sean is on the 1 and 2s. We've got a show for you today. I don't know if you don't follow basketball. Something happened on Sunday. The Sixers lost, and our resident Philadelphia representative, John Gervais, he's got some things he's got to get off his chest. He's got some decrees to make. Also, we've got a little bit of talk about what the fuck did we talk about? Shit. No, we didn't talk about Father's Day, right? 3, 2, 1. And that's fun, and that's all cool and all. But this is what we're on right now. You guys know we like to watch shows every time, during the year. We like to follow a certain show, come back, give you guys reviews. Last week, we introduced Flatbush Misdemeanors. It's a show on Showtime. We all caught the first couple of episodes, really vibe with it. And we said, let's go ahead and make this our show that we're going to be following on. So we want all of you guys to start watching it. Go ahead, get Showtime. If you ain't got Showtime, borrow a password. We all know you do it anyway. And watch Flatbush Misdemeanors. It's a really funny show. It's a really real show. But this is something cool. Within a week of us starting to say we're going to watch this show, we have booked the co-creator and the co-star of the show, Dan Pearlman. He's going to be right here with us. He's going to chop it up with us on how the show started, on the behind-the-scenes things, on how real the show is, about a little bit about his film short Cramming, which you can catch on Vimeo, and we're going to fit in some basketball talk with him, some hoops talk, right? So definitely buckle up. It's a great episode. But first, reminder, patreon.com/countthedings. 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 Sign up. Become a Patreon. Get this exclusive ass content. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. We got the overflow episodes for BOMM. We've got the live shows that we do via Zoom for only our Patreons. We just had another successful one last Wednesday. We do it every other Wednesday. And of course, the Cinephobe special edition episodes. April, we gave you Half Baked for 420. May, we gave you Delta Farce for Memorial Day. And June, for Father's Day, we hit you with Daddy's Home 2. Mel Gibson, that piece of shit, is in it. Also in that movie. Will Ferrell, love him. Also in that movie. Mark Wahlberg, I'm kind of iffy on him. Also in that movie. John Lithgow, he fucking is amazing. So definitely go check that episode out. You're going to laugh. You're going to cry. You're going to want to share it with somebody. But most importantly, you're going to want to be a Patreon. Patreon.com/countthedings. Without further ado, let's get into the show. And we're joined now by the co-creator of the show, Flatbush Misdemeanors, Dan Pearlman. He's a stand-up comic. He is a writer, a director. I just got done watching his short that won a bunch of awards. It's called Cramming. It's on Vimeo. Check it out. It's definitely going to spark some questions in your mind as to who done it. But Dan, thanks for joining us. And I want to start with Flatbush Misdemeanor was a digital web show at first, right? And then it got greenlit by Showtime. When you guys created it at first, did you have any idea that it might get picked up by a TV network?
I think I made it with my friend Kevin Iso, who's also a comedian. And I think, to Kev's credit, he probably was more confident up front than I was. I think from my perspective, it was just cool to make something I'd gone through the process of like you make a pilot for a network and you go through all the steps and hurdles, and then if it nobody gets to see it. So for me up front, it was just something cool of like, oh, even if we throw this up there and even 50 people see it, at least it's something that'll exist. Like it's out there. It's just from like our gut, what we want to do. And then from there, that the first one started getting momentum and film festivals and stuff from it. But I didn't know initially, but it was just, we were fortunate that people were digging what we were doing.
It's the web series that gave us the question of what was Coretta Scott King's bust size. When you guys came up with that, did you actually have to do research to find out if this information was publicly available?
I think Jeffrey Joseph, who's a very funny comic and actor who played the principal in the web series, I think he improv'd that one. And I think, and he's been around a while, so he probably knew from his own research, We'd have to ask him, but he might have had an idea.
So any of these events that's going on in the show, is a true story? Like anything based on true story?
Yeah, a good amount. I mean, not a lot. I mean, some of the stuff is stuff that like comes from, like in the first episode, the therapy conversation is like an actual conversation that Kevin and I had years ago, and then we put that in the web series. And I studied education in school and thought I would teach if I didn't have the courage to write or do comedy. I was like, that's what I would be. I would be a bad teacher who would think he could make a difference, but then just constantly fail the kids. So a lot of it we just wanted to like, but a lot of it is not true, but we just wanted to like put ourselves, our characters in these situations and then stay true to how we would respond to it.
Yeah, I was more related to the teacher because I was a teacher for 6 years.
Oh,
so when I watched it, I'm like, shit. When I was student teaching, this is what I was dealing with in high school, which made me transition to elementary because, teaching in the inner cities, you got the kids just cussing you out. It's just you dealing with fights. So also getting, that type of involvement with the parents they don't know how much you can do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They all have like higher expectations and everyone gets more muddled than they should. And you sort of lines are crossed or whatever. But that's just seemed more fun. Yeah. Cause you don't know what you're doing and you're like, you can't beat this system. And it takes some kind of delusion to think you can make a real difference, which, my good friend, Coach Phil, who a lot of the stuff is based on, I grew up with him and he teaches. And so he went that route and, he just gets the shit kicked out of him all the time. But I just love those movies where it's like, and hate them, but love them where it's like, the white teacher will go into the school and play hopscotch with the kids and suddenly they know pre-calc. Like, it's just so funny to me. And so I just thought like, and before that, they always have the montage of like, the teachers who the kids are cursing out and they're like, we've gone through 19 teachers in 3 months and like nobody can teach these kids to read. Like, I thought my guy, like he would be one of the 19 who they would have fired. They just left him there because nobody cares. So he just fucks up constantly and is just like living with it,
That's so like the last episode, that was the part that killed me because he's got ideas of how the team should play and Dan gives a shit, but Coach Bowser doesn't give a shit. And what ends up happening is like Coach Bowser calls him out. He's like, you think you'll be the white savior? You'll come in and change this. And he has his heart attack. And then they end up getting blown out worse in the second half than they did in the first half. That's exactly what you just described, right?
I love that the team didn't actually win. Like that shit was great. It was perfect.
And they got worse. They got worse.
No, it's like it's the small details like that. Like when the score flashed, it flashed so quick. I had to rewind and like try to go back and see how much they won by. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Details and stuff like that what makes the show dope. Sure.
Yeah, it's like there's no world. Like, why would this guy coach them to a win? He's not qualified to do that. But you give him that moment. It's that Charlie Brown moment where it's like, I'm gonna kick the football this time, and it's like, no, you're not. But you get that hope every time,
So the show, it starts with you and one of your students, or Dan and one of his students, at the the jerk chicken spot, and he says, "You're big, like you're tall, like life is about being tall. Just get under the paint and you'll be unstoppable, right?" And he said that's how high school basketball is. And our co-host today, John Gervais, is a fan of the 76ers. And so I want to, for just a second, I just want to put this hot light on Jerv. And Jerv, when you watched that, you thought about Joel Embiid last night talking about, I could play wherever I want on the floor. What were the emotions that stirred up inside you?
Hey, that's the funny shit because he really got to think this out.
Yeah.
So I'll be real. I didn't watch any fucking post game. I literally stared at my screen. Well, I watched the TNT coverage because I just felt like I deserved that. Like I deserved to hear Shaq what he was going to say, what Barkley was going to say. I didn't deserve to go over to the home team station and like get like the local reporter like, oh, you know, I didn't deserve that shit. But no, I'm okay with him saying that. I'm also okay with him making his remark about the turning point in the game being when people decide to pass on dunks and another
tall guy. Another tall guy.
Yeah. I mean, he probably could use your advice, Dan. Like that dude is you know, respectfully, he's something, man. And
do we think it's a Philly thing? Because they had that with Fultz, where he got in his head, and then Embiid is now scared to shoot. Like, is it a Philly thing, or is it just like what's going on?
What's wrong with your city, Jerv?
Well, no, it's definitely not a Philly thing because you know, I don't know if you guys heard, but the Eagles won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, so we're kind of cool in the championship. Yeah,
they didn't have to shoot free throws.
Hey, but y'all not about to be shit in 7 months.
No, bro, don't do that.
Meek Mill went through it too, kind of, right?
Well, you know, I'm not really the biggest Meek Mill fan. Shout out to Meek, you know, hey, young, get your bag, you know, do your thing. It's just his music is just not for me. Yes. Although Dreams and Nightmares intro was one of the fucking craziest shits ever.
Now I know where Embiid got it from, pushing everybody under the bus.
Amin, speaking of rappers,
don't do that. Don't do that, bro.
Amin, speaking of rappers, bro, when Kevin tried to like sell the art to the rapper in the bathroom, bro.
Oh man.
Oh shit.
And he airdropped his shit. I said, nah.
Tell me that's a real Dan. Tell me that's a real story. Tell me that's a true story.
No, I wish, but that's know, because we're stand-ups, so we apply a lot of that to like Kev's whole like pursuing art thing. Because I mean, you guys know there's so much of that when you're just like taking anything for exposure and any opportunity. You show up to gigs and they're like, "Oh, I can't pay you," but you know, and the excuse. So it's just like we've all done shows for people who are like more of a clown than that guy, you know.
What's the lowest point of your life as a stand-up where you were like, can I really do this, or maybe I should just pack up?
I couldn't even choose. I did a show once. It was like in upstate New York. It was on, let me see if I can get this right. It was on a patio over the summer during the daytime, in between a Motown cover band, aimed at the street, and there were no chairs. And you're just talking to like kids walking by with their ice cream cones and parents like, what are you doing? I did a show at a college that was like in the student center. It was like National Hoagie Day, and it was just kids walking and getting their hoagies and just walking past you. Like there are so many where you're like, what the fuck am I doing? You know? Yeah. For whatever reason, you just want to keep going, you know?
So what's the opposite of that? What is the moment where you're like, fuck, I can do this for a living?
The sad thing, it's like there's even like moments of enjoyment in those bad gigs, and that's how you know you love it, you know. But I mean, the best thing, it's like when you can figure out an idea wherever it is and you get it to work, and you're stuck in your head all the time, and when you get those thoughts to like resonate with people, and that's why it's cool to show. Also, just seeing people's reaction to shit and what they're responding to, it's cool because it's in your head so long. It's just like, oh, I could do that forever, you know.
Definitely.
Dan, I thought you guys were speaking to me personally. I don't know if you researched Philly people prior to this last episode, but the Beijing part, that had like that has to be about that has to come from something
Nah,
from
that
Philly,
shit
right?
was crazy, dog.
I give all credit to Kev there because I didn't know. I just you trust your collaborator there because I didn't know shit about it. So, but it was just like I was like, it's funny, and him and Hassan are so funny in that scene. Like Hassan reacting to it, who plays Drew in the show, he's just so funny responding to it and just like laughing when he's like, God damn, and then how he like doubles back, and Hassan is so good at being able to like flip in a moment to just like laughing and being your friend. And then when Kev tries to walk in the apartment, you're just like, where do you think you're going? Like he just, without even changing his voice, he just keeps the same inflection and you just believe the turn. You believe every nuance of him so well. So yeah, that shit was super funny. But
it was just like when you brought up he's like, dude, now he's like, you don't think he's trying to kill you anymore? He was just trying to kill you last week. Like now y'all are buddies and sharing caps. Like everything's good now. Like wake up, my boy. Like you know what I'm saying? So yeah, dog, definitely.
Yeah, it's just you like forget there. You look at it, you're like, why are you okay with this? It's like, do I have a better memory, or like why am I still holding on to this grudge and you're not? You know, like there's always that kind of discrepancy.
Yeah. Kevin's Nigerian, right? He's a Nigerian descent.
Yeah,
yeah, because like the whole storyline with Dami and her parents.
Yeah,
just the whole like when the parents come in and say, why are you throwing your life away? And like I was, because my family's from Sudan, and I was like, oh yeah, like someone on this show has either African parents or African friends or something, because this is so specific. It can't be like just a wild guess.
Yeah, we did that, and then that was fun when we did the table read, and everyone started talking about their own specific cultural abuses that they had that they dealt with as a kid. Everyone was like trading notes on their own trauma.
Yeah, one of my favorite characters is Kareem, who plays your stepdad.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
He looked like Michael Irvin. I thought, hey, for real,
recipes.
Yeah, hey, he's sick, dog. He is by far one of the sickest, bro. When he said he caught crabs with him and
twice
when they shared the chick, I said, nah, he's a wild boy.
Kareem is so funny, man. So he's a stand-up, and we just, he's been doing stand-up forever, and so we used him in the web series. He played my stepdad, and he's just so funny, man. He just comes in with just this like energy that we need to offset the two of us, and he just plays it so big. And when he showed up in the web series, I remember he showed up like an hour late, and we were like kind of annoyed. We like shot outside a Kennedy Fried Chicken in Bed-Stuy, and he showed up and we were annoyed he was late because he was the one person we needed. And a few minutes later, we're still annoyed. And then Kareem says something like, he's like, "You still mad? Shit, I already forgave myself," which is just such a funny way to go through life, that you shouldn't be mad because I've decided it's cool. So you got to let it go. Because if I'm not mad at myself, you can't be mad at me. It's such a funny thing, but he's so funny in that show. I mean, like, he just comes in with all this energy and just fucking kills it every time. And there's something very like sweet about the fact that of his
positive.
That he's like
always positive.
He loves being a stepdad. He loves this guy. He really wants to like be a father to this adult,
Like at first I thought it was on some disrespectful shit, but he really cared. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like normally I thought it was some Melvin baby boy shit. And then I was like, nah, he really cared. Like your mom in the show is dealing with some stuff, you know what I'm saying? And he really there, like, breathe, do the circles, make sure your mom happy. Like, I'm like, bro, putting in the work. He done take the pictures, you know what I'm saying? He ain't trying to get no green card. He ain't trying to have no sugar mama. That shit is legit.
Yeah, it's like you forgive him for being weird because he cares.
The show is full of like these little nuances, right? Little just like Sean said, man, if you didn't see the score real quick, you missed it, right?
Right.
My favorite one is the family photo of Kareem and Dan's mom.
Yeah,
because he's wearing a hoodie he got the hoodie on and it's tightened. And I was just like, yo, it was both like, what the hell? And also, yeah, that's exactly what a Kareem would do. Like, that's exactly the picture he would take. And so that's what my favorite thing about the show is, just those little, if you didn't catch it for just a second, you missed it.
Dog, that's 100% the best part for me too. Is, man, I'll give you 3 more. At the roti spot, the credit card minimum is like $19.45.
Yeah.
It's like that. There's a sign on the window like credit card minimum $19.50.
Yeah.
On the Beijing scene, when he pulls out the cover to get your cut, it's a black garbage bag. Like, everything was like, shit was going wrong off top. Like, you're never gonna get a good cut if my man pulls out the black garbage bag to cover you up. You know what I'm saying? There's so many details like that. There was at the basketball game, there's one fan in the back wearing a pigeon thing over his head. He's just sitting there by himself. Like, there's shit like that all over the place, man. You got to look out for all that stuff. Yeah, that's the best part for me too.
So my question is, Dan, how much of that came out of the necessity of the web series of having to do everything kind of on a budget and be kind of tight with everything?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helped initially, because you just like learn how to be creative when you have no resources, like, it's like we had bad sound, we couldn't color it, we couldn't mix it. So it's like, all right, how do we make it cool without any of that shit? And so you sort of like, okay, we could do these like parenthetical subtitles or the chapter divides or the audio interstitial thing. So you find that shit. And then when you get more resources, the sort of like, you can think a little more about that attention to detail stuff. And then every department can contribute to that. So like props can come in and be like, which cactus do you think is funnier or whatever? Or, or prod design can be like, oh, this little detail. And so you work with all of them to find all those little jokes that, again, you could just watch sort of passively and be like, oh, that guy's funny or that person's funny. Or you can, catch all those little things, but it's all there. Yeah.
Yo, have you ever dated someone at the workplace?
I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't know if I've had like a real office job long enough. I think I would have, but nobody would date me. But like, there are definitely jobs where I would have dated somebody, but they weren't feeling it. But I totally ripped that dynamic of the teacher and the assistant principal from a close friend of mine, who even went and he consulted the script of a couple, but he told me this story years ago, and he went and flirted with the assistant principal when her school chicken died, which happens in the 3rd episode. He went to the chicken funeral. Yeah.
That's real?
I used a different version of the story, because the version of the story he told me, he's like, she sent out an email saying the school chicken died, so I went and played basketball up by Columbia, an excuse to stop by the chicken funeral. And he's like, and the only people there were me, her, and an old teacher whose dog killed the chicken. So he's like, so I was like, you make up excuses. He's like, oh yeah, I was like, yo, I loved feeding him grain. He was my favorite bird. Like, just any shit to talk to her. And now they're engaged. I'm going to his wedding in 2 months.
Shit!
Look at that.
That's fire.
It worked.
Is there any part of you when you're telling these stories where your friends who some of these stories are pulled out of their life are watching and like doing the DiCaprio? Oh shit, that's
he loves it. My friend who I took that from, he was like, yo, that's great. He's like, she wants me to tell you that she actually cried when the chicken died. I'm like, well, that's sad, but it's like,
Yeah.
nah, they like it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna reshoot that for you, but yeah, I got you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, next time I'll try to capture the emotion. That bird. Yeah.
Oh man, yo. Also, from one of the earlier episodes, the conversation between Kevin and Sam J, who plays his sister, after the hookah spot, and she tells him like, I knew she was wrong for you because she went out with you. And anyone who would go out with someone whose as life is as not put together as yours isn't good enough for you. And it's such a fucking brilliant little exchange, because Kevin actually is like, yeah, that's a good point. And I'm like, wait a second, man. Like, wait, the the moral of the story is if anyone who would downgrade their life enough to date you isn't good enough for you. So you need to find someone who would never go out with someone like you. It's
like
one of those things. Go ahead.
No, I like it's such a good logic, and yeah, Sam and Kevin are so good in that scene, and Carrie Cotta, who wrote that episode, like, yeah, that exchange is so funny because, yeah, I mean, that is that logic. It's like you don't want to be in any club that would have you as a member. It's like that logic. It's like, oh yeah, you can't blame her, and that's the thing. There's a version of that story where you see her out and it's like, oh, fuck her, she's cheating, like she sucks or she's a liar or whatever. But then she makes her case and it's like, yeah, what does he have to offer? You know, she makes that case, and then even the sister's like, yeah, why should she be with you?
You said what?
What's the line that he says, Trey, when he's arguing with her? You had it in the chat the other day.
Where he's like, stop making sense or whatever.
Yeah, stop making sense, bro. Like that shit was so hilarious. But the fact that he sent the fucking used vodka bottle, bro, with sparklers, he's like that shit and send it over there too.
No, yeah, I love that exchange when they're like, when he's like, I had plans, and she's like, okay, what were your plans? And he's like, well, we're gonna see a movie, and then I was gonna be spontaneous with the rest. Like that is so, like every date you go on when you're younger, you're just gonna wing it, and then you're like, why aren't they enjoying it? Is it because I put in less than zero effort? It's just like.
No, that whole exchange was fire. He's like, oh, all I gotta do is get all the hookah flavors to get you to do whatever I want. Like, this is crazy. Like, all you talk about is Tito's. I send you some Tito's. Here's some Tito's. Like, drink that shit. Like, what's wrong now? You talking all that shit? Like, yeah, that was a great exchange.
No, they're great.
Well, the line she says is, he says to her, I thought you said you didn't need any of this. And she said, I don't. But don't you ever want stuff that you don't need? Right. That's why he says, stop making sense.
Right.
Oh, man, it's just such a clever, it's so clever, man.
Yeah, that existential kind of macro. You're like, I don't really know how to argue this, but you're obviously on another level debating me, so I can't even just like muster up any kind of response. No, they're great in that.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is I am playing a character and 10 is this is me, and they turn the cameras on while I was doing this, how close would you say the characters of Kevin and Dan are to the real life Kevin and Dan?
I guess maybe like a 6 or 7 almost. I mean, I think these are definitely like the younger and way worse versions. It's like we're taking a lot of these traits of like any moment we didn't have our shit together and then ramping it up because, you know, it's more fun to see these guys fuck up. And I'm not interested in seeing these guys like, you know, really win or succeed or take over the world or whatever. It's fun to see. It's fun to see them try, you know, but then just run into reality and try to find a way out of it or find a way to make peace with it. So, but it's definitely, you know, we're not Daniel Day-Lewis and Lincoln. You know, we're not really transforming fully. You'd see us talk and be like, that's them talking. You know? So
overrated, by the way, Daniel Day-Lewis.
I never saw it, but you hear that mentioned as someone who's a good actor. So you're like, all right, I don't really know what that means.
Yeah, no, he's really trash, and you've been lied to this whole time.
I do think all that method acting stuff is stupid. The people were like, I got to be in character for 6 months. It's like, maybe you're not great then.
No,
if you need to act like you're thinking in a Best Buy, like maybe you're not amazing at this.
It's like studying, right? Like if you have to study for like a month for this exam, like how smart are you, man?
I don't know.
No, I was gonna say I know Dan and Kevin are in there enough because it's too natural, it's too funny, it's too just like real it's just so relatable watching it. So it's 6 or 7, cool. But like Kevin definitely isn't sleeping on his couch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The situation's fiction. But that's a fun thing with working with stand-ups also, because we have so many great stand-ups in it, like Kareem and Yamanika, who plays my therapist in the next one, and Carrie and Maria, is like, they all are so good at being like the funniest version of themselves on stage. So it's just like, if you make them comfortable, they'll make every line better.
Dope.
You know, as far as, because you're working with so many great stand-ups and people are basically quick on their feet, how much of this is improv and how much of it is scripted?
It's more scripted than you would think because you got to go through multiple versions of like the outlines and script and stuff. But we always kind of make sure we leave room for like once we're on set, you leave room for a Kareem to like sort of have fun, or Yamanika, who she's my therapist, and the next one who just kind of yells at me, and so we were like, just yell at me, and so she went fully off and was calling me a reverse leprechaun who only brings bad luck, except just like she's saying the meanest shit. And that's all anybody wants to hear. It's just like, the crew was like crying, laughing. I was like that was the most I broke, was when she's yelling at me. It's just fun to be berated. And she just went off. So the comedians, we tried to leave room to let them play because that's just when they're at their funniest.
Yeah, I've seen Yamanika and Sam both a lot in LA at the Comedy Store on roast battles.
Yeah.
On the Tuesday night roast battles that they do.
Yeah. In the belly.
Damn, I miss roast battles, man.
I miss roast battle too.
That's
man.
That's the only reason why I want to move back to LA. But New York, Dan, you out here, right?
I'm actually, I live in Flatbush, but I'm in LA right now for another week or so, and then I'm coming back.
I gotta get back on the comedy scene, bro, out here in New York and find some spots to hit.
Yeah, man, sure. I can let you know because it's opening back up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man, we're free now. Everyone's vaccinated, right? Right? Don't talk about Delta variants though.
It's a personal.
I heard that. I was like, what?
Hey, it would be crazy if they had something written in where they got the fake vax cards or some shit. Like, if they could get that in there, bro, for the next season or something.
Let me ask Let me ask you something, Dan. Yeah. Like, as a creative, someone who's putting out episodic material, is everyone kind of like, are we all like obligated to do a season of COVID?
I hope
right?
not.
Like in all the scripted material that's going to come out, right?
I hope not. Because it's like, and we talked about like, oh, should we address that or whatever? But then it's just like, that shit is so fucking sad. It's like, I don't want to watch people in masks. I want to like escape that shit. Like, I don't want to watch like people talk on a Zoom screen after a day of like talking on a Zoom screen, just like, and also there felt like no way to like, how do you address that without it becoming everything? Because it was so all encompassing in like every aspect that there's no way to like just do like a 5% in. Like, you got to go all in, and it's like, I don't know, that shit sucks. I'm sure people will make cool stuff from it, but
look, I was writing McDonald's commercials where it was like, oh, you wake up, you're getting ready to leave, but don't forget your mask.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, I don't really want to write that into that, but it's the climate at that time. So, you know what I mean? Like, those are the situations that we were in a weird space in.
Yeah, and I know people will do that, will be like, and coronavirus is really, that's like a character in the show also, but it's just like, that seems too grim.
Yeah, no, I'm praying that that's not the case because, like you said, like I just lived a year of it. I don't want to reminisce yet. Maybe 10 years from now we can do it.
Yeah, they waited a while for those World War II movies,
That 2020 movie gonna be crazy. I know that. Whenever they roll that shit up, that shit gonna be nuts, bro.
Yeah,
they gotta turn that shit into some World War Z type shit.
Yeah, they waited 60 years before Dunkirk. You just give us a minute.
Yeah, my cousin jokes he's the first person who made a 9/11 joke after 9/11.
Yeah.
So I said, well, how long did it take you? And he said, New Year's. I said, I'm glad.
Hey, that's too soon for sure.
Someone beat him. So someone made a joke before the second tower.
Oh man, that's
people weren't waiting. Some people.
Oh,
like I couldn't imagine Twitter being up on that time.
Can you imagine, man?
Because Twitter don't take shit serious.
Can you imagine people were digging up somebody's 9/11 tweets? Like, man, no way.
Oh shit! Really thinking about that. Like, they would have memes of like how they would escape, like the craziest insensitive shit. Like, it'd be like, I'm glad Twitter wasn't around for that.
Jordan crying, yeah.
wouldn't be me. or maybe someone making something that just over the top.
Yeah.
The funniest 9/11 joke I think I heard in a stand-up was Paul Mooney. And Paul Mooney said, like, and this was like, again, fairly soon after 9/11, maybe like 6 months later. He said, you remember when 9/11 happened? They tried to blame it on black people at first, but I knew it wasn't black people, because if it was, we would have seen nothing but parachutes and do-rags flapping in the wind. And it's just, I saw him at Caroline's when he said it, and I fucking started crying laughing, because it's just the imagery of like someone's do-rag just billowing in the wind as you float down to safety.
Yeah, no, that is comedy.
All-timer. Yo, so Dan, obviously you got some hoops opinions.
Yeah,
There's
man.
no way you write that much hoops into your show without being a hoop head.
No,
First of all, you're from New York City. Does this mean you're a Knicks fan?
Yeah. I was glad the Nets lost.
Okay, so all right, so this is a thing for you. You like, even though like the Knicks are long gone, you're rooting against the Nets rather than just have a representative of the city.
Because I used to not understand when people in LA would talk about like not giving a shit about the Clippers, even though they were better. I'm like, they're better. They're better run. They're better, because the Lakers were trash for like, I don't know, 5-6 years. But then with Brooklyn, I'm like, oh, I get it. Because I don't care. They could win the next 3 titles, and I wouldn't feel anything. And the Knicks are like kind of good. I'm like, oh, that's great. They're like competitive. I don't know what it is, but I like KD was awesome, but I just didn't. There's something about scrapping that, just getting that team together, where I'm just like, nah, you want to see him fail first, and then maybe do something. There's something more worth it about if a team struggles, and when they don't, it's kind of like, fuck this.
Well,
had the Knicks, hold on, Jerv. Had the Knicks been the one, like everything that happened to the Nets, had that happened to the Knicks, Kyrie and KD show up, and then a year later they trade for Harden, you wouldn't give a fuck about no struggle.
That's totally fair, and I'm a complete hypocrite. And the difference is I grew up liking that team, so that's the difference. That's the team Sprewell played for when I cheered for them as a kid, so they'll always have my loyalty.
As the guy that's team has struggled for some time now, I can tell you there's nothing cool about the struggle. I'm so looking forward to the promised land that was told to me, that if I just go through these times that they will come. So I hope that you guys get to fast forward the button just after us, though.
Do you think they should trade Simmons?
Oh, he's out of there.
He's got to go. He's got to go.
His bags is packed. This shit been packed since last night. The fact that he turned down the Olympics was the biggest sign ever, right? He about to be in LA playing Call of Duty and in that club. He out of there.
Right.
Man, they could have traded him for Harden, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What were we gonna say?
Wait. No. Didn't they say? Didn't come on, NBA insider guys? Didn't they say? Wasn't that the thing that they said, that there was no way in hell the Rockets were going to trade with Morey? Right? Like, come on, let's keep.
No.
Don't make me. Come on, listen. Don't make me get mad.
They didn't want to. They didn't want to part ways with Tease, and then they didn't want to part ways with another player, but they could have got him.
He just has to be like a third guy. He just can't. You just can't be one of the main guys. Rondo.
He's the third guy now.
I mean,
he doesn't want to shoot now.
It's not paid like it. I don't know. Harden couldn't shoot, but Rondo couldn't shoot, but they had guys there who could. I don't know. I don't think the Lakers are the place either.
Look at Jerv, man.
No, y'all just really ruined. Like, y'all just really made me mad, because now I'm even more mad now, because I was under one belief with the Harden thing. It wasn't that bad to me, because I was led to believe that there was no way in hell. Like, don't believe the rumors. There's no way in hell. And now you're telling me there was a way in hell. So now, like, I'm really mad. Like, I'm super mad now.
There was a very straightforward way in hell. Like, right through the center of hell.
Sorry to re-emerge that.
Nah, it's all good.
I've never seen
What
anything
was-
like I've never seen anything like what we're seeing with Ben Simmons, dog. I mean, just mentally fried.
Oh yeah, I have Markel Fultz.
Yeah.
No,
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
yeah, bro.
Yeah,
The
We
yips,
just
bro.
saw this movie.
We just
saw
seen this.
movie.
We seen this. This is just the deluxe edition. But
No.
wait, there's more.
no,
Simmons-
no, but it seems there was like a physical component with Fultz.
Wasn't that physical, bruh.
There was a physical component.
You
with
can't
Fultz.
shoot on you if you can shoot on Monday, you should be able to shoot on Tuesday too. Like you shouldn't go to bed and then one wake up and be like, no, I think I should shoot this way. Like, no, that shouldn't happen.
Hey,
He's scared. The free throw shit is where it gets crazy and he's like scared. He passed that up because he was afraid to go to the line.
yeah,
He's a
all
point
that.
guard. He's
Let me tell you
afraid to go to
something.
the line.
My daughter will take that shot.
Well, right.
She shoots the ball all the time now in her little court. The fact that this man passed up a dunk.
Yeah,
You had
right there. No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how. Like, yeah, that's a mental thing. I don't know how you bounce back from it. To a team that like Trae Young didn't play well either. Was he like 5 for 25 or something? Like
Kevin Huerter.
Listen, he did it for Black Lives Matter, bro. He out there cooking. White Kevin,
Kevin Huerter.
aka Red Velvet, bro.
Kevon.
Listen,
Kevon. Yo, first of all, Kevon. They said his name is KEV''ON.
oh, easy call. The fact that
And
his
they got
nickname is
the-
Red Velvet is crazy, though. He really calls himself Red Velvet.
is he really?
The
That's
meme-
fun.
The meme that won the internet last night was DJ Qualls in was it not Road Trip? Yeah, it's Road Trip. The scene where they go to the black frat and he's about to have sex with the black girl, the big thick black girl. They had that. They said this gonna hurt her when you get back to Atlanta.
Sick with
Yo,
a thick
Sean,
mama.
Got it. If you got it, pull it up.
Yeah, I can
Dan,
grab it. Hold on.
While Sean does that, Dan, let me ask you this because you've been a Knick fan, and this year being a Knick fan was a joyful experience, but
It was nice.
the last decade or so, not so much. What was the darkest moment of your Knick fandom? The moment where you were like, maybe I should consider, but just rooting for a different team.
I mean, the Isaiah years were all dark years. And
I worked there during Isaiah years, motherfucker.
Say again?
I worked there.
you were the ray of sunshine during
I was
that
cool.
time.
I mean, what's cool? Everyone else is terrible.
I mean, it might have been that Dolan kicking out Oakley was a low moment. When you have this guy who is like one of the examples of the last like really great Knick team of Ewing and Starks and Mason and those guys, and you're literally kicking him out of the arena and banning him, like that's a low moment. I mean, anything with Dolan, it's like.
I mean, to be fair though, Dan, he be shitting on Patrick Ewing, so I can't fuck with Oak no more. You know what I'm saying? He like basically like we ain't get no ring because Pat didn't have it in him. Like
but
what?
He talks shit. That's the joy of Oakley, is that every team needs one guy like that. Golden State has Draymond, a guy who's just like not afraid to just like get in anybody's face, including his teammates. You need one guy like that. Steven Jackson was that guy. You need that guy.
Kicking
The guy who's like a
Charles Oakley.
little unhinged. You just can't have 5 of them.
Kicking Charles Oakley out of the Garden was like if like St. Peter came back and went to the Vatican and the Pope kicked him out. Wait, what?
That's
You just got here, bro.
that's the nicest description anyone's had of Oakley. You give him literal sainthood.
All right, I got the red velvet meme. Here it goes. This was the winner last night for sure.
Yep, there it is. It's perfect.
Look at his body, man. His body, dog. That's looking just like him, dog.
Hey, Trey, we did on Cinephobe for Memorial Day. We did what's it called? Larry the Cable Guy, Delta Farce, and my man is in it, and he still is the same, like super skinny like that. He is never. He's got like 3%
He's a funny
body
look.
fat at least.
He's also in Hustle and Flow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to him getting work, bro.
Delta
For
Farce.
real.
I was in the academy.
We need to find bro and tap in with him. I don't know what we got for him, but
Dan,
go for it.
Dan Pearlman, co-creator of Flatbush Misdemeanor, and you got the short film that you can see on Vimeo right now called Cramming. Dan, what else do you have on the horizon that we can look out for?
I got my stand-up album out. It's called Emergency Contact. You can hear it on Spotify and wherever you listen to shit. It's called Emergency Contact. And then, yeah, just trying to develop some other stuff, and then we'll just get back into doing stand-up. So I'll post at Dan J. Pearlman, wherever I'll be. But but just watch Flatbush on Sundays on Showtime.
And if you got the Showtime app, it comes out on Saturday night, so you could get it a day early that way.
That's right.
And definitely, we all fuck with that show heavy right here, Dan. So we really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so
giving
much,
us some
man.
behind the scenes stuff.
Thanks so much,
All
you
right.
guys.
Yeah,
all right.
no problem.
There you go.
Talk soon.
Dan Pearlman. All right, so that was Dan Pearlman, co-creator of Flatbush Misdemeanor, man. Shout out to him for coming on. Funny guy. We touched on it a little bit during Dan's segment, but Jerv, we're clearing the court. We're giving you the ball like Giannis at the top, and everybody else is flattening out. Go to work, bro. The Sixers.
So last night I had a real rap conversation with myself, and I asked myself, am I putting too much time into this? Because I see it over and over and over again. And I said, for my health, for my sanity, I'm gonna take a step back. You know what I mean? I'm gonna still watch my team, still gonna love them. It's still fuck Boston, all these others, all these other things. But at the end of the day, I gotta take a step back. But in the meantime, in between time, anybody with the last fucking name, anybody whose first name ends with an N, you can get the fuck out of Philadelphia. That goes for Glenn Rivers. That goes for Ben Simmons. That goes for Forcon Korkmaz. If I ever see Korkmaz touch the court again, like I'm going to lose my mind. I see why Glenn got left from, why the Clippers moved on from him. I see why Orlando said enough was enough. I'm sorry, Orlando. I am sorry, Clippers. I apologize. I thought it was you. Clearly it's not. Boston, y'all just some fucks. I can't fuck with it. Y'all just take what y'all get. But he got to go. I'm tired of a 6'10" point guard who just literally doesn't do shit. I've never seen somebody in the history of my life at any level, at any court or whatever, pass up a dunk when he wasn't even going to get fouled. Boy, I'm sorry. Amin, I'm sorry. Tray, I'm sorry. Wise, I know you. I'm sorry, bro.
Wise ain't even here.
I owe Wise an apology. I owe y'all all an apology. When they wanted to ship his ass for Kawhi Leonard, I was a moron. I believed. I was at these games. Y'all know what it is. After the Nets game 1 of 2 years ago, I lost my last year. I lost my mind with 2 years ago. I lost my mind with dude. I lost it. I snapped. He addresses the fans. He says, "Yo, these fans is this, that, and the third." I told y'all that night. It was it was me. I was the person, and I wish I would have been there last fucking night because I would have lost my mind again, and I would have gotten kicked out of the fucking arena because there's no way in hell I wouldn't have ran on the court because that's just stupid. But like, I would have stood up way too long. I'd have said some ignorant shit, and they'd have had to escort me out there, out the fucking arena. I can't. But still trust the process. You know what I'm saying? We out here. Catch us next year when we lace them up, and we'll try and trace this Larry O'Brien again without fucking number 25 because he can roll.
Oh shit! Is it? Have we reached? We ain't gonna say his name no more levels.
Nah, I'm not saying dude's name. And all this is basketball, right? Nothing with him as a man personally. I don't know, dude. I got no doings. Might be cool. Not talking about that. But on the court, nah, that's 25. I'm not saying his name.
Jerv, what if I told you that the behind the scenes super secret info that I got is that your boy was out partying the night before Game 7s?
I wouldn't be shocked because I've heard that a couple times about other things throughout bubble time and the hand and all that shit. All that shit last year. I'm tired. I'm done with it.
No, 25 was out.
This female cheated on me too much. I'm not calling her female, but she didn't cheat on me too much. Too many subliminal shots on Instagram. Yo, and if I see you post or at me anything with 25 working out over the off season, I'm blocking you. It just is what it is. I'm not condoning that.
What if Bleacher Report or ESPN NBA post him shooting and they say Ben Simmons in that lab getting that work, and they've got the emoji with the steam coming out the nostrils?
First of all, the steam coming out the nostrils emoji is dead. All right, we're not using that no more, Philly. We're not using that anymore. We just not using that. I'm making the call. We're not using that John anymore. And Bleacher and ESPN, Yahoo, the bloggers, have at it. Get all your footage you can get. I'm just saying, don't put that shit on my timeline because I'm blocking it. I don't want to see anything. 25 is officially muted on my Twitter page. I don't want to hear shit. Well, not official. I got to wait for the Woj bomb whenever that comes. And then, but if he plays on my team next year, I'm good.
You got to make a stand, bro. That's what I did with the Bulls. I'm like, bro, I'm off these guys till Garpax is going, bro. I'm not
off my team.
No, I was off my squad, bro.
Like I can't, bro. This is like, see, like this is it. Like this is it from. This is why, like after losses, I get quiet. I don't just start talking to people because niggas have jokes, and I respect the jokes. And I'm not about to be corny, so I'm gonna just let the jokes fly, and I'm not gonna retaliate. I'm gonna stand there and just take all the fucking jokes. I see it, I hear it, it's all good. But I can't leave them. I'm just not gonna I watched this team at a wedding. I was super disrespectful. Like super disrespectful. Like that was rude of me, but I had it in my mind. Yo, this is my squad. We got a chance this year. I'm not missing the dribble. Man, let me tell you, dog. I'll just get the little ESPN alert next year. The little I'll just take that when they flash the score on I'll put alerts on or something. I'm not watching that.
So what's the final verdict? Is Simmons got to go? Doc got to go?
Glenn needs to roll, bruh. We can't call him Doc. Can't call him Doc. His name's Glenn. There's only one Doc in Philly. There's only one doc.
There's only one doctor in Philadelphia.
There's only one. The man's name's Glenn. His mama named Glenn. I'm gonna call him Glenn. I'm not being rude.
There you have it. The no-fly zone, ladies and gentlemen. The trick no-fly zone over Philly has been put into effect for number 25 and for the nickname Doc. So only Glenn Rivers can walk into that building now as decreed by John Gervais right here on Black Opinions Matter, motherfucker. And that's going to do it for us here. Once again, thank you, Dan Pearlman from Flatbush Misdemeanor, for stopping by. Thank you, Blk Tray, Big Jerv, Blk Tray. My bad. I got to fix that one up. Because you you're not little. Blk Tray is Trayvon, and you're Blk Tray, and you're Big Jerv, and you're Sean on the 1 and 2s. And you are the listeners. If you're not a Patreon, patreon.com/countthedings. Sign up. That's where you get your overflow episodes. That's where you get your live shows that we've been doing. We had another great one last week. And that's also where you get the Cinephobe special edition episodes. The last one just dropped yesterday, or Sunday, I should say, on Father's Day. Daddy's Home too. That's only for our Patreon subscribers. Patreon.com/countthedings. Don't miss out. And we'll talk to you motherfuckers next week. Stay black.